Bitcoin this month, it's up more than 40% since Trump was elected, more than 125% on the year. .com's Tanea McKeel has been tracking the action, and she has more for us. Tanea.
Morning, David. Yeah, Bitcoin could certainly hit 100K as soon as today. This latest move higher, partly driven by some technical trading issues in the futures market, specifically a spike in funding rates and November open interest overnight. Also, one thing holding traders back is that Bitcoin options at 100,000 expiring on November 24th have become a dominant hedging point here. So after they expire this weekend, with them expiring this weekend, many traders will be incentivized to hold on at this level. Now, of course, the overarching theme is still the excitement and hope that Trump will usher in this golden age of crypto. That would include a more friendly regulatory environment and potentially a national strategic Bitcoin reserve or stockpile. Bitcoin ETFs also passed $1 billion in assets yesterday. So I think you're going to see that demand continue to grow as institutions become more comfortable with this asset class. Those institutions, via the ETF products that launched earlier this year, I think could become an even bigger driver of the Bitcoin price. While over in the spot market, you might see attention start to turn more to revenue-generating blockchains like Ethereum. So looking over at stocks, Coinbase shares a little under pressure, while Bitcoin proxies like MicroStrategy and Mara Holdings have been rising this morning with Bitcoin. And I think that is in part reflective of the Bitcoin versus everything else in crypto division that we've been seeing here in the action since the election. Guys?
Tanea, if I can sort of ask you a question, bridging together what we heard from Megan Casella, if we do end up hearing that Senator Bill Hagerty ends up being a Treasury pick and he's called Bitcoin Bill, I mean, do you imagine that would be another catalyst, and could that push us beyond that 100,000 threshold that seems to be sort of a technical sticking point?
Yeah, Courtney, that would be a huge deal. It's so important, and I know that, the SEC chair and also this idea that's come up of a crypto czar heading into the White House, also a very big deal. But I think the role in the Treasury, it addresses so much of the challenge that crypto has had in the past 4 years, because it's not just about the state of whether a coin is a security or not. I think, for Bitcoin, that's been de-risked for a bit, but the Treasury would really just give that top-down messaging that allows for broader crypto-forward innovation and support for the industry.
Hey, Tanea, what's the point of a Bitcoin national reserve? I mean, it reminds me of the petroleum reserve, but what is the actual point of it?
It's a great question. It is my personal opinion or concern that, a Bitcoin national reserve or even stockpile would not necessarily address all of the challenges that the crypto industry has had on the regulatory front. That said, nothing wrong with the idea of a Bitcoin reserve or stockpile. I think that would be very welcome. Whether it is a reserve or stockpile remains to be seen. They're definitely talking about that. And that theme sort of hit a fever pitch recently. Obviously, if it's a stockpile, that removes some of the risk of sell pressure. What the U.S. would be tapping the reserve for, I'm not sure. We will see.
Tanea, thank you. We'll watch the price closely, just tantalizingly close to 100K. Tanea McKeel, thank you.